All right, so today we're going to take a deep dive into the world of Elon Musk. I mean, you've probably seen the memes, the tweets, maybe even watched one of those rockets land itself.
Yeah, pretty wild, right?
But how much do we really know about the guy who's, basically trying to get us to Mars?
Yeah. It's great. Like, his story almost reads like a modern day myth or something.
Right.
But today, we're going to try to go beyond the headlines.
Yeah.
We're using this recent biography
Yeah.
to unpack how a kid from South Africa became one of the biggest names in basically everything tech.
And it all started with a video game. I mean, selling Blaster at 12 years old for $500, that's not your average lemonade stand.
No, not at all.
Yes.
It really shows, that entrepreneurial spark early on. But what's interesting is that he didn't just stop at coding, right?
Yeah.
Musk studied physics and economics.
Oh, wow.
Which kind of, foreshadows his whole approach, blending like hardcore science with a keen sense of business.
So he's got the brains, the drive, but those early companies, Zip2 and PayPal, they're not like as famous as Tesla or SpaceX.
Right.
Were those just stepping stones? Or is there more to that story?
No, they're absolutely crucial. Zip2, for example, it wasn't just some online directory.
Okay.
It was Musk betting on the future of the internet.
Right.
Like seeing that businesses would need to be found online. When Compaq bought Zip2, it wasn't just about the money. They were acquiring a vision of how we'd use the web.
So he's already thinking ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
And then comes PayPal. I mean, we take paying for things online for granted now, but back then...
Oh, totally. It was revolutionary. I mean, think about it, people were hesitant to put their credit card info online.
Oh, for sure.
Musk's X.com merging with Confinity to create PayPal, that was about building trust in a whole new system.
Yeah.
And when eBay bought them for, $1.5 billion, it proved just how right he was.
About that future of e-commerce. So he's made millions. He's proven himself as an innovator. You'd think maybe he'd relax, enjoy the success. But then he goes and starts SpaceX.
Right.
This isn't some rich guy's hobby. He's talking about colonizing Mars.
I know, and that's where you see the scale of Musk's ambition.
Yeah.
Right? He's not content with just disrupting industries.
Yeah.
He's aiming to change what it means to be human.
Whoa.
The recent cargo deployment to Mars was a huge step towards, making that vision a reality.
Wow.
It's not just about rockets. It's about building the infrastructure for a future where, humanity isn't limited to just the Earth.
It's almost hard to wrap your head around, honestly.
I know.
But then there's Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a whole other level of ambition. I mean, electric cars were around, but Tesla made them.
Cool.
Yeah, cool, desirable.
Exactly. They weren't just building electric cars. They were making a statement. The Model S, with its, sleek design and over 300 miles of range, it shattered that perception that electric vehicles were just for, eco-warriors.
Right.
Suddenly everyone wanted one.
And that focus on sustainability, it feels like it goes beyond just selling cars. It's like Musk is trying to solve the whole energy crisis.
He's definitely taking a long-term view. Tesla's not just about cars. They're pushing into solar panels, energy storage.
Oh, wow.
It's a whole ecosystem built around sustainable energy.
Okay, so we've got rockets, electric cars, a vision for the future, but then there's Neuralink and the Boring Company. These almost feel like something out of science fiction.
I know, right? And that's what makes Musk so intriguing. He's not afraid to tackle these seemingly impossible challenges.
Yeah.
Brain-machine interfaces with Neuralink, revolutionizing transportation with the Boring Company.
Wow.
He's constantly pushing the boundaries of what we think is achievable.
But that level of ambition comes with a lot of attention.
Right.
And not all of it is good, right? Especially this past year with his wealth, his political activity, and that whole Twitter situation. Things have been pretty wild.
He's definitely a polarizing figure. His net worth is estimated at around $263 billion, making him one of the richest people on the planet.
Oh, wow.
And that kind of wealth, it translates into immense influence.
Yeah.
Which is what we're kind of seeing play out in real time.
His support for Donald Trump's 2024 campaign, that definitely raised some eyebrows.
Yeah, for sure.
And then buying Twitter, renaming it X, the layoffs, the policy changes, it felt like the whole internet was talking about it.
Yeah, it really highlighted the power and scrutiny that come with that level of influence, you know. And his communication style, especially on social media, hasn't always helped.
Yeah.
Remember those SEC challenges over his tweets?
Yeah, a single tweet from him can move markets. This shows how his unconventional approach can have some very real-world consequences.
Totally.
So we've got this incredibly ambitious, innovative, and often controversial figure. Where do we even begin to unpack all of this?
I think what's key is to understand that Musk's story is still being written.
Yeah.
He's a complex figure who defies easy categorization. But one thing's for sure, he's not afraid to take risks, challenge conventions, and push the boundaries of what we thought was possible.
And to really grasp what drives him, we need to go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Back to those early ventures that laid the foundation for everything that came after.
Okay, so let's rewind back to the mid-90s and take a closer look at Zip2. It might seem like a simple idea now, but back then, it was a glimpse into the future that Musk was already seeing.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so imagine like a time before Google Maps.
Yeah.
Before you could just pull out your phone and find any business.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the mid-90s, all that information, it was scattered, like across physical phone books.
Right.
And Musk, he saw a better way.
So Zip2 was basically like the first digital yellow pages. It seems so obvious now, but back then,
I know, right?
it must have been.
It was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Musk and his brother Kimball, they were like betting that the internet would change how we interact with the world around us. Zip2 wasn't just about putting addresses online. It was about creating a platform with maps, directions, even detailed business information.
It sounds a lot like what we use today. Did people even have the internet speeds back then
Right?
to like make this work?
That's what's remarkable. They were building this infrastructure before most people even had like dial-up.
Wow.
But Musk was convinced this is the future.
Yeah.
And he was right. When Compaq came knocking, they were just buying software. They were buying into that vision. That $307 million acquisition, that was a validation of Musk's, early gamble on the internet.
So he's got this big win, a taste of what it's like to, disrupt an industry. And then he sets his sights on something even bigger, online payments with X.com.
And again, this is before online shopping was like mainstream. People were nervous about putting their credit card information online.
Yeah, for sure.
X.com merging with Confinity to form PayPal. That was about, overcoming that fear. Creating a system people could trust.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine e-commerce without it.
Oh, yeah.
You can see how it like paved the way for so much of what we do online today.
It's like he's laying the groundwork for, the digital economy we live in now.
Totally.
And then eBay buys PayPal for $1.5 billion.
I know.
That's when you know he's hit on something huge.
Yeah, that sale gave him the resources, but more importantly, the credibility to pursue even wilder ideas.
Okay.
Ideas like building rockets.
Which brings us to SpaceX. I mean, most people with that kind of money would buy an island.
I know, right?
Not start a space program. What was he thinking?
Think about like the state of the space industry back then,
Yeah.
It was slow moving, dominated by government agencies. Musk saw an opportunity to, disrupt that, to make space travel more efficient, more accessible.
Okay.
He wanted to do what NASA was doing, but like faster, cheaper, and with a focus on reusability.
Okay, but how do you even start a company like SpaceX? It's not like you can just like walk down to the rocket store.
Right. It took a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
The early years were full of setbacks, rockets, blowing up on the launch pad.
Oh, wow.
But Musk kept pushing. And in 2008, they made history with the Falcon 1.
Okay.
The first privately funded, liquid-fueled rocket to reach orbit.
That must have been a huge moment for him. But the real game changer, at least in the public eye, was, those rockets landing themselves. How does that even work?
It's a combination of like incredibly precise engineering and software. The Falcon 9 booster stage, after separating from the spacecraft, it uses grid fins to steer itself back towards Earth. Then, using its engines to slow down and deploy landing legs, it touches down on a drone ship or landing pad.
So it's like a controlled fall from space.
Pretty much, yeah.
It looks so effortless, though, like something out of a movie. But that technology, it's not just about cool visuals, is it?
No, it's about like revolutionizing space travel. Before reusable rockets, each launch was incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
By landing the booster stage, SpaceX can reuse it multiple times, significantly lowering the cost of getting to space. This makes everything from like satellite launches to space tourism more feasible.
And of course, there's that ultimate goal of colonizing Mars.
Oh, yeah.
That recent cargo deployment.
Right.
Was that just a test run, or are we getting closer to seeing, humans on the red planet?
It was a major step towards building a sustainable presence on Mars. They delivered, essential supplies and equipment, demonstrating their capability to land payloads on another planet. This paves the way for future missions, including sending humans to Mars, in the coming years.
It's still mind-boggling to think about, like, humans living on another planet, but you can see how all of this, from those early internet ventures to landing rockets, it's all connected to this bigger vision Musk has.
He's playing the long game, thinking decades, even centuries ahead, but he's also making moves here on Earth, especially with Tesla.
And Tesla, that's where he really caught, the public's attention. They didn't just build electric cars, they made them, like, cool, desirable, even luxurious. How did he pull that off?
It was a combination of, design, performance, and marketing savvy. Remember when electric cars were seen as like slow, clunky, and limited in range?
Yeah.
Tesla changed all that with the Model S. It was sleek, fast, and could go over 300 miles on a single charge.
So suddenly, everyone wanted an electric car, and Tesla was leading the charge. But they didn't stop there, did they?
No, it expanded into solar panels, battery storage systems. It's about creating a, complete sustainable energy ecosystem.
Okay.
Musk sees a future where we're not reliant on fossil fuels.
Right.
And Tesla is, like, building that future piece by piece.
It's like he's tackling climate change head on, not just with cars, but with a whole new way of thinking about energy. And yet he still finds time for these other, even more futuristic projects.
Like Neuralink and the Boring Company. These ventures might seem like, side projects, but they're all part of this, like, grand vision Musk has for the future of humanity.
Okay, let's unpack these. Neuralink, that's the one with brain implants, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like something out of a cyberpunk novel.
I know, right? The idea is to create a brain-computer interface, allowing humans to directly interact with technology, using their thoughts. Think about the possibilities, like treating neurological disorders, enhancing cognitive abilities, even merging human consciousness with artificial intelligence.
Well, merging with AI, that's getting some, like, pretty heavy territory.
It's definitely pushing the boundaries of, what we consider human. But Musk sees it as a way to keep up with the rapidly advancing field of AI.
Right.
He believes that by, merging with AI, humans can ensure they remain in control of their own destiny.
It's both fascinating and a little terrifying. And then there's the Boring Company, which, at least on the surface, seems a little less sci-fi.
Yeah, the goal is to solve traffic congestion by building underground tunnels for, high-speed transportation. Imagine zipping across a city in minutes, bypassing all the traffic above.
Okay, that actually sounds pretty practical. Is this something we're going to see in our lifetimes?
They've already built test tunnels.
Oh, wow.
And are working on several projects, around the world. It's still early days. But Musk believes this technology has the potential to revolutionize urban transportation.
So from online directories to electric cars, from space travel to brain implants, he's got his hands in so many different pies. But this level of ambition, this drive to, change the world, it can come with a price.
And that's what we've seen play out in recent years. The controversies, the Twitter saga, his, political pronouncements, it all shows the immense power and scrutiny that comes with being Elon Musk.
He's a complex figure, that's for sure. But one thing's clear, he's not just a, tech CEO.
Right.
He's a cultural icon.
Totally.
A symbol of, this era of rapid technological change.
And to understand his impact, we need to look beyond the headlines, beyond the, the memes and the tweets, and consider the broader implications of what he's trying to achieve.
I mean, it feels like we're living in a science fiction novel
Yeah.
that Musk is, like, writing in real time.
I know, it's crazy.
But is this the future we actually want?
That's the big question, isn't it? Musk's ventures, they kind of force us to confront some pretty, profound choices.
Yeah.
Like with Neuralink, are we enhancing humanity or blurring the lines between, like, man and machine? Is colonizing Mars a bold leap forward or just a distraction from the problems we're facing here on Earth?
Those are some heavy dilemmas, and I think that's what makes Musk so fascinating, right? He's not just building companies.
Right.
He's, like, making us question our own assumptions about progress, technology, and even what it means to be human.
And I think whether you admire him or criticize him, there's no denying his impact. He's sparked this global conversation about innovation, sustainability, and the ethics of technology.
Yeah.
That in itself is a pretty significant legacy.
He's definitely not afraid to push the envelope, and sometimes it feels like he's going too far too fast.
Right.
But maybe that's what it takes to make real progress, all right? What do you think? Is that kind of disruptive thinking ultimately a force for good?
Well, I think it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
On one hand, you need that willingness to challenge the status quo, to think outside the box.
Yeah.
If you actually want to solve these big problems.
For sure.
But there's also the risk of, hubris, unintended consequences.
Right.
And with someone as influential as Musk, those consequences, they can be felt on a global scale.
So how do we navigate this? I mean, technology is advancing so quickly.
Yeah.
And with someone like Musk leading the charge, it feels like we're constantly playing catch up, trying to figure out the implications of it all.
I think the key is to engage in these conversations,
Yeah.
to question our assumptions,
Yeah.
to think critically about the kind of future that we want to create. And that's what, hopefully this deep dive has done, giving you more information, more context, so you can form your own opinions about Elon Musk and, his impact on the world.
I mean, we've covered a lot of ground today, from selling video games as a kid to aiming for Mars.
Oh, yeah.
From revolutionizing the auto industry to developing, brain-computer interfaces.
It's been a wild ride.
It has been a wild ride.
And it's far from over. Musk's story is still unfolding.
Oh, yeah.
And no doubt he'll continue to surprise us, challenge us, and make us rethink what's possible.
So the question remains, visionary genius or reckless disruptor?
Or maybe, as we've discussed, a bit of both. And that's what makes him such a captivating figure, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever your opinion is, one thing's for sure. Elon Musk is shaping the world we live in, and his influence is only going to grow in the years to come.
So keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep your eyes on the sky, because with Elon Musk, you never know what's going to happen next.
And keep those memes coming.
Oh, yeah.
Because even if you disagree with his methods,
you
got to admit the guy knows how to keep things interesting.
He does. He does. All right, that's it for our deep dive into the world of Elon Musk. Thanks for listening.